Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Mobile Cal here. So today I want to talk about Redick, some of the stuff that's been going down with him, my thoughts and opinions on it. So leave a like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at MudbloodCal. And let's get into it. So Redick was recently traded to the Dallas Mavericks from the New Orleans Pelicans. And he talked about it in his most recent episode of his podcast, who I am a fan of, or I listen to regularly, which is The Old Man and the Three with JJ Redick and Tommy Alter. So basically, I do recommend you go watch the full clip because as he talks about, not necessarily in the clip, but later in the show after he does his interview with Colin Sexton, he talks about with the show's correspondent Tyrese Halliburton, that a lot of stuff gets lost in context. Like you look at just this, like you just see this quote on Twitter, and a lot of people are just taking that for what it is. But this situation, it doesn't look good for the Pelicans. It really, he rips into them quite a bit. But he says, we're going to start with, he said that he requested a trade after they traded Jrue Holiday, who he says was the main reason that he came to New Orleans in the first place. And he knew that this made sense for the team at the time. They had just brought in Stan Van Gundy. And Jrue Holiday is most useful as a versatile defender. He can guard 1 through 5. And Stan Van Gundy is not a big fan of players who guard 1 through 5. He prefers just you pick your man and that's who you got, no switching. So the Pelicans traded Jrue Holiday to the Bucks, and after that, JJ Redick says he put in a trade request, to which David Griffin, the Pelicans general manager, told him that if he came down, played for a month, and still wanted to be traded, that they would trade him to a desirable situation. A desirable situation for JJ. A lot of guys ask to be put in a winning situation on a team where they can contend for a championship. JJ didn't necessarily want that. He just said he wanted to play somewhere where close in the Northeast where he can go see his family in Brooklyn on a day off. So that would be, I'd say, Boston, Philly, the Nets, and the Knicks. So he wanted to be traded to one of those four destinations, most ideally the Nets and then the Knicks. And then I guess Philadelphia wouldn't be that awful bad of the deal for him because when he lived in Philadelphia, he talked about this in some parts of the podcast, not necessarily this podcast, but another podcast. He drove 3 hours or 2.5 hours, I think he says, to Philadelphia every day. He still lived in Brooklyn while he was playing in Philadelphia. So he talks about, so he went down for a month. He said, okay, he went down for a month. He played. He still wanted to be traded. And the front office, it took him a while, but they got him traded right on the deadline. This was one of the last deals that got done. And I thought he was in the clear. I didn't think he was going to get traded. And he got traded to Dallas, which I don't know if you know. But Dallas is quite a little ways away from the Northeast, and Brooklyn, mostly. Obviously, they're in a good basketball situation. They're a team that could contend for a championship. I don't think they will, based on current form of Kristaps. I think if they want to contend, Kristaps has to turn into that guy that we thought he'd be 3 or 4 years ago, potential-wise. So I really think they need to do that. But JJ says that basically the front office lied to him because they said he'd be put in a desirable situation, which was not the case. Uh, for him, at least, like I said, a desirable situation would be somewhere in the Northeast. Um, so he said, I believe, quote, was, "I don't think you're going to get honesty from that front office. That's not my opinion. I think that that's just a fact at this point, or something wrong. I think I butchered the end of it, but you get the point." And he said that he doesn't think this is an isolated case. So you look at trades that the Pelicans have made recently with guys like Kendrick Williams and Drew Holiday, and guys that they, I believe, were looking possibly to trade, or were at least taking offers for in um, Lonzo Ball and Nico Melli, who they just traded, um, along with JJ Redick to the Mavericks. So this is not a good look for the Pelicans, mostly because JJ Redick is a very well-respected 15-year vet. He's been around the league. He has made the playoffs in all but one season, which was last year, which I personally think the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans would have made the playoffs last season if COVID wasn't a thing. I don't know if I can say that. I think I can. Maybe YouTube chilled out. Um, Not like this video is getting monetized, anyways. So what else? Uh, Also, a lot of people are getting mad at him for not being with the team right now. I stopped mostly because I thought I was going to sneeze. By the way, not being with the team right now, but he's injured and he's working with I believe a personal trainer in Brooklyn, where he lives. So that's why he's not with. He's recovering from an injection that he had to fix an issue with, I believe, his right ankle or something along those lines. And he says that he feels good and thinks he's on a good track to get back playing soon. But there's still no timetable on when he'll be back. Soon could be a month and a half from now. The season's set to end in a month and a half. That feels so weird to say, but it's true. The season will be over sometime in mid to late May, so I guess maybe 2 months. No, I think the Mavericks will be in the playoffs, but I don't know. I think he's getting ripped into. He's being called a little whiner, and the front office lied to him. He expected honesty and was not given that. And I can see why he's ticked off. He just wanted to be with his family. He didn't even want to be in a good basketball situation. Which, granted, the four teams in the Northeast are in decent basketball positions, especially the Philadelphia and the Knicks, or Philadelphia and the Nets. The Knicks would be fine. The Celtics are looking to move up standings wise. I know they brought in Evan Fournier. I don't think Evan Fournier and JJ Redick together would be a good pair, just because they're relatively similar types of players. Just guys that can hit a 3-shot. But I don't know. That's it. Leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow.